Hi, John. Today we are talking about the history of humans. This podcast is for people who want to improve their English and learn something new at the same time. So let's start with the first question. Where did the first humans live on Earth?
Scientists believe that humans first appeared in Africa about 200,000 years ago. Early humans, known as Homo sapiens, lived in small groups and moved around to find food. Over time, they began to spread to other parts of the world, like Asia, Europe, and the Americas.
What was life like for early humans?
Early humans lived as hunters and gatherers. They hunted animals and gathered fruits, plants, and nuts for food. They used simple tools made of stone, wood, and bones to help them survive. Life was hard, and they had to move often to find food and shelter. Emma, can you explain what the Stone Age is?
The Stone Age is a period in human history when people used stone tools. It began about 2.5 million years ago and lasted until humans discovered how to use metal. During this time, people learned how to make fire, build shelters, and create basic tools for hunting and farming.
Emma, when did humans stop moving and start farming?
John, about 12,000 years ago, humans discovered farming. This was a major change because it allowed people to settle in one place instead of moving to find food. They started growing crops like wheat and rice and raised animals like sheep and cows. This led to the development of villages and communities, which was the first big civilization in human history.
The first major civilization is believed to be in Mesopotamia, around 5,000 years ago. Mesopotamia was located between two rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates, in modern-day Iraq. People there developed writing, built cities, and created systems of laws.
What are some famous wonders from ancient times?
Ancient civilizations built many wonders, like the pyramids of Egypt and the Great Wall of China. These structures were built by thousands of workers and show how skilled ancient people were. The pyramids are especially famous for being one of the 7 wonders of the world. Emma, why is writing so important to human history?
Writing changed history because it allowed people to record information, share ideas, and pass knowledge to future generations. Early writing systems, like cuneiform in Mesopotamia and hieroglyphics in Egypt, were used for keeping records, telling stories, and making laws. Writing helped civilizations grow.
What are some of the most important inventions in human history?
Some important inventions include the wheel, fire, and tools. The wheel helped with transportation, making it easier to move things. Fire was used for cooking and warmth, and tools allowed humans to hunt and build. Later, inventions like paper, the printing press, and electricity changed the world.
How did people from different continents meet and share ideas?
About 600 years ago, humans started building large ships that could travel across oceans. Explorers like Christopher Columbus and Ferdinand Magellan sailed from Europe to the Americas and Asia. This opened up trade routes and helped people share ideas, goods, and cultures across the world. What was the Industrial Revolution, and why was it important?
The Industrial Revolution started about 200 years ago in Europe. It was a time when new machines and factories were built, changing how people worked. Instead of working by hand, machines could do the work faster. This led to cities growing bigger and more people working in factories instead of farms.
The first humans came from Africa around 200,000 years ago. These early humans were called Homo sapiens, and they lived by hunting animals and gathering plants. Over time, they moved to other parts of the world, like Europe, Asia, and later, the Americas.
That's interesting. So, in the beginning, humans didn't stay in one place. They moved around to find food, right? When did they start to settle in one place and build homes?
Yes, exactly. For thousands of years, humans were hunters and gatherers. But about 12,000 years ago, they discovered farming. This allowed them to grow their own food and stay in one place. This change helped humans start building villages and towns.
Wow, farming really changed everything. Can you explain more about how life was different for humans after they started farming? How did it help them grow and develop?
After humans learned to farm, they didn't need to move around anymore. They had more food, which led to a larger population. People could focus on other things like building houses, making tools, and creating art. This is when the first big civilizations started.
Speaking of civilizations, what was the first major civilization? Where did it begin, and how did people live during that time?
The first major civilization began in Mesopotamia, which is modern-day Iraq. It started about 5,000 years ago. People in Mesopotamia built cities, created systems of government, and even developed one of the first writing systems called cuneiform.
That's amazing! Writing must have been a huge step forward. Why was writing so important for early civilizations? How did it help people back then?
Writing was important because it allowed people to keep records, share ideas, and tell stories. It helped with trade, communication, and organizing large groups of people. Writing also allowed them to pass knowledge down to future generations, which was key to growing civilizations.
It's incredible to think how far we've come. Besides writing, what are some other important inventions that helped humans develop throughout history?
Some of the most important inventions include the wheel, fire, and tools. The wheel made transportation easier, fire helped with cooking and warmth, and tools allowed people to hunt, farm, and build. These inventions helped humans survive and grow.
Let's talk about human migration. How did humans spread to different continents? What helped them travel to faraway places?
Humans spread to different continents over thousands of years. They crossed land bridges and used boats to travel. Around 600 years ago, large ships helped people travel across oceans. Explorers from Europe, like Columbus, started connecting the world through trade and discovery.
That sounds like the start of globalization. When did humans begin to live in large cities and create advanced societies? What led to this big change in how people lived?
This happened during the Industrial Revolution, about 200 years ago. New machines and factories were built, and many people moved from farms to cities for work. Cities grew bigger, and technology advanced quickly. It was a big turning point in human history.
The Industrial Revolution must have changed a lot of things. How did technology help humans? What were some of the biggest inventions during that time?
Technology helped humans produce more goods faster. Some big inventions during the Industrial Revolution were the steam engine, which powered factories and trains, and the spinning jenny, which made it easier to make clothes. These inventions made life easier and connected the world.
I agree. Cooperation is so important for our future. Thank you, John, for this interesting discussion about the history of humans. And to all our listeners, we hope you enjoyed learning and practicing your English. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more.